First thing is that this is a non-transdermal patch. So to be clear, there are no drugs or chemicals or natural compounds that are in the product that will diffuse through the skin in a transdermal fashion. Instead, this is a non-transdermal patch, and it's activated by body heat. So in order to understand this properly, it's important to look at how do signal induction and signal transduction mechanisms occur in the human body in the first place. And some of the pioneering work on this was done by Fritz Popp in Germany. And so we know that you take plant cells, animal cells, human cells, and you put them in an environment that's completely dark, and using a photomultiplier tube, at least back in the old days, then you could see light emission off of the cells. So these are highly coherent pulses of light. And in fact, the beauty of the way human beings were created and all life on Earth was created is that light is a communication mechanism. So very much as what Becker found is that the bioelectrical, the energetic systems of the body are controlling the biochemistry. So it's so critically important when, as you know, when we look at overall health, the energetic systems in the body have to be in balance with the biochemistry, meaning that if you're having a healthy diet, then you want to make sure that your communication systems are working with any number of different techniques, and then the person can have optimum health. So the way we approach this is that there are natural compounds. They're principally stereoisomers of amino acids. They're processed in a specific way so they will reflect specific wavelengths of light onto the skin when activated by body heat. So this is a specific form of low-level light therapy. And I'm delighted to say that after 20 years of research, we have over 80 clinical studies on this. So those that are interested can go to our website, go to the science section, and they can go through those studies.
And that's incredible. So just using these specific amino acids, putting them in certain patterns will then generate a specific frequency that will then turn on mechanisms within the body, mechanisms like the activating the GHK copper. So you have a certain kind of pattern in the patch that will then activate that. And then by doing that, you then activate also the stem cell production and activity of the own individual for regeneration.
Yeah, so a good way to understand this is that the light that comes off of our products is encoded with information. So let me explain that for a minute. When we look at traditional low-level light therapy or light therapy in general, we can use wavelengths of light like 630 nanometers, 660, 850, 810, any blend of infrared or visible light, or even up into UV. And we know that's going to elicit a specific response. So it's pretty common knowledge that we expose the body to UV light and it gives people a tan. We expose to 660, we can turn on collagen production, we can improve mitochondrial function, and so forth. And what I wanted to do with this was a little bit different. I wanted to see if we could use light to turn on production of specific peptides like glutathione, like GHK, AHK, carnosine. And so the principle of this is that we do what you do in laser communications, is that instead of having a wave that is simply a sinusoidal, what we'll do is modulate the wave so it contains information. So now, this is how, of course, in the military, for example, you have site-to-site communications with a laser because the light is encoded with information. So the patches work the same way. There is an infrared carrier. It's modulated to contain information to turn on synthesis of a specific peptide.
And that's, for people understanding, we have optic cables, that we communicate, through our phones. And so and that information goes bi-directional. So you can, encode exactly like you're saying. You can then encode that frequencies with any kind of information. I mean, there's limitless amount of information that you can encode that. And then, like you're saying, then there's specific communication that will turn on different peptides that will then elicit a response within the body.
Yeah, exactly. And the way we know this is because we do blood studies. So we'll take a baseline blood draw, and we'll look at GHK levels. And as Laurent Picard discovered, he's the father of GHK. We know that copper peptide levels decline with age pretty dramatically. So we'll look at a population of people, say, over the age of 50, and we know their copper peptide levels are going to be down 60, 80%, depending on a person's diet and how well they're taking care of themselves. So we'll do that baseline, and then in as little as 24 hours, we hit statistical significance, and we'll see increases in both GHK and GHK-Cu. What's very typical is within the first 24 hours, there's a very significant increase in GHK, and then over the course of the next 7 days, you see the GHK bind with copper, and then there's a statistically significant improvement in GHK-Cu. But the metabolism studies that we do, we have one that's published that's on our website. And we've done that with first a pilot study with 15 people, and then a double-blind study with 50 people. And what that shows, again, the statistical significance is that within the first week of using the product, you see about a 30 to 40% increase in the utilization of amino acids. So the utilization of leucine goes up. So we're going to get enhanced muscle hypertrophy. We're going to see tryptophan increase, so in its metabolism, and that correlates with a sleep index that we do, so people get better sleep, and also branch chain amino acids. We see increase in metabolism of those, so people are recovering faster after exercise, and they're healing faster.
And yeah, like tryptophan, you have also, it's a precursor to serotonin. So in addition, sleep, for mood elevation, it functions as a neurotransmitter. So any communication in the brain or in the cells or anywhere, you need those neurotransmitters. So that's huge. And we know also with the introduction of glyphosates, at the level that we have, that it really destroys our ability to utilize, or absorb tryptophan, which is then produced in the gut by our gut biome, and glyphosate destroys that. So now we have a way to support that naturally over and above what's normally supposed to happen in the